What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training. And today we're going to be talking about why Davante Adams is such a great route runner. So we're going to be talking about the specific things that he's able to do off the line of scrimmage that keeps a DB guessing, how a DB can't predict what a wide receiver is going to be doing, and it's obviously how you can be unpredictable as a wide receiver. So I hope this video helps you out and teaches you a few new things about why Davante Adams is such a great route runner and how he's able to create a ton of separation. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to know the specific things that you guys need to do in the gym and on the field on a day-to-day basis, check out that very first link in the description below for our ultimate wide receiver training schedule. It's everything you need to do on the field. We include a 4-week-long step-by-step with sets and reps, include an on-field wide receiver workout plan and a 28-day wide receiver gym workout plan. So if you guys are interested in that, want a step-by-step schedule for wide receivers specifically, check out that very first link below. Let's get started with this video. So first route we're looking at here from Davante Adams is a slant route, right? So he's probably the most dangerous slant route runner in the game, I would say, maybe next to like Michael Thomas or something like that. And he's very dangerous on a fade, and he's very dangerous just with any kind of hesitation move off the line of scrimmage, and that's what we're going to focus on. So Adams gets this kind of coverage all the time, where this DB's in a catch technique, right? Reason why is because he's so dangerous off the line of scrimmage that if people, and again, in this situation, he's off the ball, but in other situations, he's not off the ball, and he still gets this coverage because when it's pressed up and you're man-to-man, you're maybe a yard away from the guy and you got to get hands, he is so dang dangerous. So he gets this coverage a lot. Obviously, he's off the ball right now, but one of his like patented moves is this little like kind of hesitation skip right here, where he gives this little patient move, trying to change the tempo of the DB, getting him to stop his feet. Now, the reason why he does this is so a DB doesn't predict what he's going to be doing, right? So DB is one of the hardest positions on the field. It is so dang difficult to have to guard a receiver, especially when he's a good route runner, right? So what makes Adams so dangerous is that he makes everything look the same, because DBs study hours upon hours of film, just like how wide receivers, quarterbacks, whoever should be studying hours and hours of film. So they're trying to match the different little things that we do. As a receiver, if I'm one-dimensional, if I come out like Adams and I get this little hesitation skip and I just hit this 1-2 and run a slant, and the only time I use that hesitation skip is when I'm running a slant, a DB can predict that, right? I'm not talking about youth football DBs. I'm not talking about freshmen, JV, high school DBs. I'm talking about those DBs that are at the next level, college level, top level of high school ball, guys that have D1 offers. They're going to be studying what you do because they're technicians of the game, because that's all they really have. All DBs have to go off of is film study. They have to be super smart. Usually DBs are very smart players on the field. Guys like Richard Sherman, Jalen Ramsey, they're all very smart. But as a receiver, if I can make everything look similar, he's not going to be able to get a read on me, right? So Adams, all the time, you guys see it, he'll come off with this little hesitation skip, and as soon as that DB starts to sit to the inside, he'll take off and run a fade. He'll hesitate, then he'll go run a fade, right? So as soon as we have this DB having to trust his eyes and forcing his eyes to watch his hips, that's when I can create some separation, right? Because it's just basic salesman principles from a wide receiver perspective. You see how Adams, he gives this little hesitation skip. He hits him with that inside move like he's just going to do a quick little almost like single jab release and take off to the outside. And I want you to see how much he's able to throw his upper half to the outside. He's stepping outside of the DB's frame. His hips and his shoulders are going outside. It's almost like he's playing basketball. Like he's dribbling a basketball and he's working a crossover. That's what gets this DB to be anxious. That's what gets him to try to commit on this thing, because I'm able to make my routes look the exact same, okay? And you could do the same thing. If Adams could come out, and this is the clip we're going to be looking at next year, Adams could come out and hesitate, hit him with a 1-step, hit him with a 2-step, then hit him with a 3rd step back to the inside, and then burst up vertical, right? It really, or take an outside release and get up into a route. It's all relative. It all looks similar, but to be a good route runner, to be able to be unguardable off the line of scrimmage, is you have to be able to make your routes look the same. Everybody all the time says that like, oh, everybody's just so afraid of Davante Adams. What he does isn't that complicated. You guys aren't paying close enough attention. You watch the best receivers in the game, the best guys who get the most separation off the line, like maybe like Doug Baldwin, old school film Doug Baldwin, they have the same kind of attitude. They treat it like basketball. They hesitate, get into a move, but everything they do looks similar and it's strategic, okay? So let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time, and then we're going to get into this second clip of Adams making this release look the exact same in the exact same game, right? So now, he comes off here. Now, again, this is that situation where maybe he's on the ball, and this is the coverage I was talking about, right? Guys are so afraid to go down and press him and get up close, because as a receiver, like Chad Johnson talks about this all the time, we want to see press coverage. I want to see this guy walk down, try to get hands, try to jam, because I know that means I got a one-on-one opportunity, and I'm more comfortable in a one-on-one opportunity as a receiver because I know where I'm going. DB doesn't know where we're going, right? So watch what Adams decides to do. He gives that little hesitation skip, and he hits him with that 3-step that we were just talking about. He's able to take the outside release, and you see the amount of separation he's able to to get. It is very unpredictable. If you make from point A into point B, which is the release, point A to point B, which is the release, look the exact same every single time, how's the DB going to be able to guess what we're doing, right? And again, if he maybe does guess correctly one time, let's say this DB does jump to the outside and sits to the outside. Okay, next time I'm running a slant, I'm going to come at him. I'm going to hesitate. I'm going to hit him with a 1-2. If he wants to sit to the outside, fine. I'll take the inside release. I take the inside release and I go, right? So let's take a look at this, right? So Adams comes off here, and what did he do the last time? He hit that inside foot through to the outside right here, just like how he was doing. Hips and his shoulders are committed to the outside. He's throwing his hip to the inside, and he ran a slant, right? Maybe this DB's seen that a couple times. He's definitely seen it on film because there's 100 hours of film on Davante Adams actually running slants off of that. But now what does he do? He takes one more step back to the inside. He hesitates, 1, 2, 3. And that's what it comes down to, fellas. You being able to take these 3 steps, you being able to make it look the same until a certain point, you just put the brakes on. You see how off-platform we were able to get this DB simply because Adams is able to make this thing look similar. You have to make your routes look the same, and that goes for anything. Maybe not even beating press. Like, let's say you have to run a comeback route, and let's say you run a lot of goes. Maybe you're on the outside. Maybe that's part of your offense because everybody's offense is deeper. Excuse me. So you got to make everything look the exact same until the break point. You have to sell vertical. You have to have good pad level. You have to be able to get into the route. Everything has to look the same until it's not the same, right? So Adams is so dangerous that everything Adams does looks like that little hesitation, skip, and go. And as soon as he starts getting guys sitting to the outside, he can run that slant because he makes it look the same. And as soon as he gets guys starting sitting to the inside, he could just hesitate and go. There's really, if you have 3 to 5 different releases that all look similar, and you could take an outside release off of it, an inside release off of it, whatever, you're going to be able to get a ton of separation. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job hesitating. 1, 2, 3, hitting him with that break, and then you see able to restack. DB's got no hands. It's a recipe for separation every single time that you run that route. If you could get that DB in man coverage with no hands on. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about this route on the goal line that he likes to do, right? So same idea. You see the same kind of hesitation sip. You see the same catch over the middle running that slant, right? So when we got a DB, especially in the goal line, right? So on goal line fades, there are a couple different things that we're going to talk about that you could do on this clip. But like if you're running a goal line fade, you're running a goal line slant, it should look the same, right? So like if you're running, like let's say you get a lot of inside shade coverage and you're a big guy, you like to run a lot of goal line fades, right? You got a guy who's inside shade, you maybe want to attack him for a step, hit him with a 1-2, and go race up to the fade. Now, maybe you got a guy who's inside shade, and you got to run a slant now. You're going to attack him, hit him with a 1-2, then take 3 hard steps to the outside, make it look like a fade. DB's going to jump, then I can slip back underneath. They call it a diamond release, right, where you just attack to the outside. This is kind of the same principle of what Adams does. It's just a different variation of it. It's just a different way of doing things, right? So, again, how many times have you seen Adams give this little hesitation skip and then take off to the outside, and then Aaron Rodgers puts it back shoulder, Aaron Rodgers puts it over the corner? Yes, obviously it helps because he's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. But how many times have we seen that? We've seen that a million different times. That's always going to be a threat, especially when you have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers in the red zone, right? So as a DB, you're sitting there, you're thinking that the entire time. You're thinking, I cannot get beat to the outside. I can't get beat on the fade. I can't get beat over the shoulder. I can't get beat back shoulder. I got to make sure that I'm disciplined. I'm watching the hips, and I got to stay patient, right? So now Adams kind of reverses that. He makes it look the exact same off the line of scrimmage. He gives that little hesitation, and then look what he does. Hits him with the 1-2, threatens with the upper half, actually steps outside the DB's frame. His feet are sudden. I can't stress how important it is to have sudden feet because that forces a reaction out of this DB. But if I could get him to sit on that fade because my release looked the same, and then I hit him with this exact same thing, and I actually sell to the outside, look what that does to the DB. Gets him completely off balance, gets all of his weight shifted on that back leg, and then it's easy, fellas. If I could just work that DB off the platform by making it look similar, I create a ton of separation on this slant. You see, in the red zone, this is wide ass open. It's so rare to get that in the red zone because these DBs are expecting that. They're taught not to let anything cross their face. So as a wide receiver, we got to make sure that no matter what I do off the line of scrimmage, I'm always that vertical threat. I'm always a threat to take an outside release, and I'm, again, always a threat to run a slant or take an inside release. Everything has to look the same. Everything's got to build off the same stem, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a hesitation stem. Maybe it's a quick little speed release. Maybe every release you do is off of like a single jab with the front foot. Maybe you jab to the inside, then you take 3 hard steps on a diamond release, you get that DB to jump, and then you run a slant. Maybe you take that hard jab to the inside, and then maybe you go run a fade. Maybe you take that hard jab to the inside, you run a wide step, where you just step with your back leg wide, get the DB to jump, and you take the inside release, go run a dig, post, whatever it is, and vice versa. It all builds, but you got to make sure that you have that plan off the line. You got to make sure you know 5 to 6 different releases that you can use for a game based on your routes that A, will keep timing with the quarterback, but B, will keep that DB guessing the whole time. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job hesitating, hitting him with that 1-2, throwing that hip, and then obviously accelerating over the middle. Great overall route there from Davante Adams. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comments below. Always appreciate the feedback. Always great hearing from you guys. It helps me come up with new ideas for the page. So I will always get, and I know it's sometimes a little bit delayed response, but I always get back to you whenever I can, as soon as I possibly can. And then again, fellas, if you want a full training schedule for wide receivers, everything you need to do on the field and in the gym to improve your skills, check out that very first link in that description below for our ultimate wide receiver training schedule. I'll see you guys next time.